Hello and welcome. This is Japan, and I'm a little late to posting this, so I just wanted to make sure I got it out there because it was actually a pretty good SmackDown, and I wanted to do a SmackDown review from last Friday SmackDown. So it was the fourth, yeah, the fourth was the date, and yeah, it was a pretty stacked show. So let's just jump into it. So we had Ray Phoenix debuting, which was also Nathan Frazier's debut on SmackDown. I think like overall, I don't know if he's had another main match. I feel like he's been on Raw once. I feel like either both of them were on there, or maybe I'm just misremembering. But they picked the perfect opponent. There was very little wrong with this match. I definitely would love to put it in S tier. I did have they had a few little mess ups here and there, but I mean this is a NXT person coming into a brand new free agent. It's going to take a second to kind of figure all their stuff out, but I think it was a great, phenomenal opening match. I put it up in A. I do think like there was, like I said, just a few little things here and there I just didn't really care for that made it a little bit more difficult. Then we had LA Knight versus Tama Tonga. This match was pretty I thought it was pretty good, but like it just like it's one of those matches like it was good, didn't really have much of a stake in it. Like obviously we knew LA Knight was not gonna just randomly lose a non-title match unless like he got beaten by Solo or something like as a distraction. But I thought the match was pretty adequate. I'd put it on the card at least. I'd put it up in C. I thought it was a decent, serviceable match to be put on here. Next up, we had the tag match. It was Motor City Machine Guns versus DIY for the number one contendership for the tag team titles. Now, I don't know when this tag team title match is going to happen, but I feel like the gauntlet should be kind of like a bigger, like they should have a gauntlet type style of match. Obviously, the women are doing that next SmackDown for the women's tag team titles that will be on WrestleMania, which is kind of cool. I kind of figured they would have like multiple teams on the WrestleMania thing so we could have more people on the card, but this still works. So we have obviously here a decent match by the Motor City Machine Guns against DIY. It's kind of weird because like when the tag team like champs lose the title, then they just like whoever's the champions just kind of go on a huge cold streak because like they have to kind of like knock them out of that number one spot and make sure they don't have like a claim to just have a rematch. So that's kind of what happened here. It was a decent match. I don't think it was anything too crazy. I think I would put it above the LA Knight match and put it into B. It was serviceable. Wasn't like we were going to get much out of it. Next up, we had Naomi versus BFAB. Very quick match. It only clocked in at 2 minutes. Obviously, Naomi was coming down. She gets attacked by Jade right away. And that's why I figured they could have gave her a little bit more time. So like Jade could have been or like Naomi could have been a little bit more like dazed and gave BFAB a more opening, but a 2 minute match is kind of crazy. I put it in C. It worked for the storyline, so it definitely deserved to be in the card. And I do like that BFAB's getting matches, even if they're not the greatest. She had a decent 2 minutes in there. Just make the best of your time. But it really was just a service of the Naomi and Jade feud, which got put into a WrestleMania match. It was officially announced after this. Jade came back out there and her and Naomi went at it and they decided to make it a WrestleMania match. It was perfect. That is a great WrestleMania feud. It's probably one of the best women's storylines going into WrestleMania. So just for that, I'm putting it up in S tier because it was good. I really like this feud. I think it would be one of those like decent ones to get us into WrestleMania and could even warrant a little bit of extra whatever else is going to happen afterwards with Bianca maybe getting pulled back into it either as champion or as just another feud for her to kind of further their like trios of action. Then we had a couple other segments. We had KO saying that that he's going to need neck surgery and he's going to be out. I honestly hope this isn't a work. I've seen like different things about it. I think mostly I would say 90% people believe it's true and like it is, which I don't want it to be true, but it's like I don't want it to be a story because it kind of just sucks. And like one, it's not fun, and two, it's just like kind of pulls at your vein. Like I want to feel bad for the guy, but then if he's just messing around, it kind of gives you in that weird sense of like being like that way. And I don't think it really services the story. And then we obviously had KO come down or Randy Orton come down, and he looked like genuinely upset that like he wasn't gonna be able to face him. So I'm assuming it is correct. Um, I, I just hate it for KO. I think the segment was decent to put on the show and stuff. I put it I guess like an A. It's kind of a weird segment to rate. I just wanted to make sure I brought it up. I just hate that it happened. KO then got said something like a fan said something to him, and he almost went at him. And then I think the best part was Randy Orton RKOing Nick Aldis, which could be the WrestleMania match. I honestly think it would be decent because Nick Aldis has never got his match in WWE. I mean, he was a big wrestler before coming to take this role that he's taken in WWE. So I wouldn't be against it. Not to mention, we know Randy Orton doesn't have to pay for this because last time he RKO'd Nick Aldis, he paid double for the next time it would happen. So technically, Randy's in the clear. So I put it in A. I really don't know how to rate this kind of thing because it's just more of like it's a big story tell and like a big thing that they're gonna have to take that match off of WrestleMania. But if it's real and all that, I just feel awful for it. Then we had Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair go off the rails. I don't know how much of this was real and how much of this was just feigned, but it felt like Charlotte got absolutely destroyed by the crowd, and Tiffany just egged them on to push her down, and it felt good, I guess. Like, 'cause I don't really like Charlotte Flair in and outside of the ring. It just feels, I don't know, I don't really like her as much, and definitely in ring. And yeah, it felt like she kind of buried Charlotte here and got her at the 0-3 being of her divorces, and even with her trying to snap back about saying Kaiser was in her DMs, which is felt more real because they're not like an on-screen couple. So I felt like this was pretty good. I'd put it up in A. I'm not really enjoying the feud super much. It just, I don't know, it's kind of just chatty type stuff. I think the women sometimes deserve better than that. Like they can actually just have a storyline. They don't need to have just this cattiness between it. But it feels like that's kind of all Charlotte Flair's been able to do because the crowd's not on her side at all. And I felt like when they did this feud, it was supposed to be babyface Charlotte Flair against heel Tiffany Stratton, and then they had to flip it right away with having no actual change to either of the characters. And I think that's kind of what we're seeing here is that Tiffany's trying to slide into that babyface role because that's what she's supposed to be doing, and I just think it's kind of crazy. Then we had the number one contendership for the U.S. title. It was Jacob Fatu versus Braun Strowman in a last man standing match. Now I kind of like this match was just like pedal to the metal. It did kind of suck for Braun Strowman because he's never lost this type of match and he ended up losing it. Kind of fought like I feel like a bigger stage should have been for that if it was kind of like his staple. I guess it maybe doesn't really matter, but it was still pretty crazy. Um, Also, like just the back and forth between these two are just big, monstery type things. I quite enjoyed it. I put in an A. It's a very enjoyable match. Then we had last, but certainly not least, the main event. We did have CM Punk start off the show. He started it off. I didn't include it because honestly, it's better just to include both of them together to make the whole thing better. He's just talking about his favor and talking about, just a kind of a puff piece. He's kind of the baby face in this triple threat, and like obviously he was in the home crowd of Chicago, so he was just trying to get that, extra oomph all around. So I guess that works. But this was when we finally found CM Punk's favor, which was to have Paul Heyman on his side. I think it was okay. I felt like there wasn't much that like I could think the favor was gonna be. This was pretty much what I thought it could be. So I don't think it's that bad. I thought it was a pretty serviceable way to end the whole show. Roman was down on the ground. Seth Rollins left without doing anything, which felt right for his character. It feels like Seth has some type of plan going. So I do like this feud. I think it's, worthy of a main event. It does kind of suck that like Jay's not going to get it because he won the Royal Rumble. It just feels like that shouldn't be part of the Royal Rumble winner thing, and maybe they got rid of it and they haven't really said, but it felt like that's kind of the whole thing. You win the Royal Rumble and you main event, and I don't know, maybe it's just like you get a WrestleMania match and they've just kind of shied away from it actually being a main event thing. So, yeah, but I think overall SmackDown was pretty good. I enjoyed it, and tell me what you guys think. I'm a little bit behind on this one. I've been trying to get better with getting it posted on the very next day, but I got caught up on a lot of other stuff, so I just had to wanted. I still just wanted the review because it's such a good episode to get in there. I think the show altogether, I'd put in like a B plus. It was serviceable to the matches. I think the promos and all the other side stuff kind of pushed it up higher because it's WrestleMania season. You're not going to get a ton of craziness on the week to week, but that Rey Fenix debut definitely was a good thing to have on there, and I'm excited to see more matches with him. I think he faces Berto next week, and I think that will be pretty solid too. So until next time, this has been Japan. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We've been doing a lot of shorts. We have daily videos, everything going towards WrestleMania, and it'll be a fun time. So till then, bye guys.